And it's like the worst thing, the whole thing is faking a phone conversation, because it's really weird, just like when you're not talking to anybody. So we did that, and when we were both done, we were waiting up in the living room, and while the rest of the cast was down here deciding which one they were going to use, and it was just really scary waiting for it, because we both wanted to be Colonel Potter, and so when it's really scary. We were talking about it and everything, how we would probably react if one of us didn't become Colonel Potter. So then the final decision was made up, and I was made Colonel Potter. And I felt really good about that, because I really wanted to be him.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't believe it. You just told me this morning.
What?
I don't see that good looking face anymore, do you?
Nope.
Oh, that's nice.
So, I see you two met.
There's no hard feelings for that.
Why do you remember to stay off that leg until it heals?
Corman, get this man in a wheelchair. How's your stomach?
It's a lot better, Doc. A lot better.
Corman, get these men to the 121st and then home. Boy, I envy you.
How do you feel about being offered the part in playing the movie MASH?
I liked it, it was pretty cool. and the only bad thing about it was I thought I'd be in competition with Colonel Potter, and then this kid I was in competition with, he was taking acting lessons, but it turned out he couldn't do it. And then I was doing Colonel Potter, I was practicing the lines and everything. Then there was this older kid who came around. He was going to be playing an extra, and he was taller and he was older, so he looked more like Colonel Potter, but he didn't have wrinkles. That was the only thing.
Did you like playing Lieutenant Smith?
It was fun, always walking around crutches, but it hurt right up here.
Uh-huh. I see. No, I'm not diagnosing our conversation, but I am counting on the excuses you can come up with and give me a case of blood. My diagnosis to you, Major, is that you're afraid to tell me the truth. You should see a doctor. I'm sorry, Margaret. I just get head up when an officer starts telling me doctor jokes in the middle of war. What is it you wanted?
I was telling you about my sister graduating from college soon.
And you're feeling down because you can't be there.
Right. I would like to make her something, witty and cherry, but olive drab is olive drab. Why does the Army have to back up on our paychecks? I can't be there to congratulate her, and I can't even send her a stinking present.
Take what's left out of petty cash and go to Tokyo and buy some colorful material. I want your sister to shine among her classmates.
Really? I knew I can count on you, Colonel. I'll make you a pair of silk shorts. Monogram.
No. It's okay, Margaret. No thanks.
When selecting a cast for Quiet on the Set, I was only supposed to be the writer and director of the show, but due to the shortage of cast members, I was made Margaret Houlihan. I didn't mind playing Margaret because we have the similar personality traits. She's very aggressive and determined, and so am I. But one thing that did bother me on the set that I found hard to get into character was being the writer and director on the show, not so much the writer, but being a director. I was always sensing the noises, like the telephone ringing or people talking, really bothered me, and it was very hard to get into character sometimes.
Hi, Father. I'd like to thank you for staying with me during surgery. I hope I didn't seem like too much of a baby.
Hardly. Every patient has the right to be scared and to show it is not a sin. By the way, I just paid a visit to a friend of yours named Smith.
Smith, is he here? He probably blames me for getting him wounded.
Listen, when I'm confronted with a tough situation, I try to pick the best solution that comes to mind. And usually, my first idea is to run like heck to where it's safe and comforting. But in your case, you had the two worst possible choices, and my guess is the course of action you took kept you and your buddy alive.
Yeah, but will he ever think that way?
I'm sure when he hears a flashback of the minefield, he'll have a different perspective of things.
Good baby John!
When we started this film, or the show, of MASH, I got picked to play Father McCahey, and it took me like 2 to 3 weeks to prepare for him, for his voice and impersonations, and I had to watch the show every night to come on to study Father McCahey and how he does his voice, and I have to practice all the time. And I also have to watch my sister who plays Margaret Houlihan. Every time she started to write a page or type up a page for the show, the script, I would stand there watching her, and she would tell me when she typed up one of my lines. And I would read it and do the same voice impersonations. And I would have to work like every night, and I would have to put my schoolwork to the side sometimes. And I don't know, Father McCahey is a good character. He's warm-hearted, he's kind. I have to prepare for that. He's kind of touchy, you know. So it took me like a long time just to work things out for Father McCahey to be his character.
Charles, you officially have your own tent. We moved your stuff while you were gone, so it'll be a surprise when you came back.
It's a surprise, all right.
How thoughtful of you both. Well, I've certainly been putting you in the wrong category lately. Now, where is it? Don't tell me. In the VIP tent. How can I thank you both for understanding?
You might not thank us when we tell you.
Why?
Because your new room's on the train. You may have a lot of visitors, but they'll be short rations unless the food really gets them. Then I would recommend an air freshener.
You didn't.
We were thinking of the showers, but we know how much you despise wet sheets.
My records!
I was hoping we could have rented a space while he was gone.
He wasn't anyone sterile enough to keep it clean. Here's to friendship and trust.
I'll drink to that.
When MASH was in its final stages of pre-production, we had all been chosen characters to portray on the show, because people who couldn't just do the technical aspects of it, they had to also do a character because we were short-handed on the show. So my character had been chosen as BJ, and I was very happy with the character because BJ was like me in real life. He's very calm and subtle and has a set of values which he goes by the letter, and that's what I admired about his character. And I think the best reason why I was BJ was because when you're coming over the screen, you don't want to be a character that you're really not. And if I had been, say, somebody like Hawkeye, I don't think I would have come across as well as I did.
Well, I talk about a low budget. I have to do my own effects here. Push this in here, put that there, put that there, and that there. That's it. Okay. You're probably wondering who I am. That's who I am. See, I do my own effects. I was cameraman for part of the time on the MASH film. That's enough of my name. I was part of the film. I was the cameraman, and also I helped with some of the production on the MASH movie, MASH tape. And I thought it was an ingenious production. One of the reasons why was because, well, when I first arrived there, I got treated to seeing what the basement looked like, all set up with sheets and false sets and everything. And it was kind of neat. One of the most interesting things about filming this MASH sequence was it's something that I'm always amazed about. Whenever I've been in a position of having to ask outside agencies or outside people for help, you get a variety of answers. Sometimes you do get very little cooperation, but we decided that a show about MASH wouldn't be complete